Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 61st episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. One thing I love to support is independent artists and up and coming talent. Everyone has to start somewhere, and it's great to see where people get their start. Here on this side of YouTube, nothing makes me more excited to see and hear people are starting to really follow their dreams. Seeing these content creators do what it is they set out to. The passion these guys have for film and everything that goes into it. I myself have my own aspirations in what I'd like to do in film, but today I'm highlighting the new work from a fellow YouTuber. Two of the best movie YouTubers are the Raiders of the Lost podcast, two twin brothers, James and Anthony Deveney. These two know films and are some of the most entertaining guys on the space. These guys may be twin brothers, but they are very different personalities and they have some great chemistry. These two guys have been some of my biggest inspirations in my own YouTube journey, and I'd like to take a second to thank these guys for all that they do. But today, we are talking about Anthony. Anthony has released his short film Midnight Ruin here on YouTube, and I wanted to take the time to review it for you guys. Midnight Ruin is an 18-minute short film written and directed by Anthony Deveney. I do believe he has made some other shorts, but I haven't seen them unfortunately. I was watching my normal 6 films as I do on Wednesday nights, and I decided to throw this on as a bonus at the end of my night. I went into this very excited because I wanted to see what he came up with. I mean, I listened to these guys talk about films, and he's even suggested some films that I would now call some of my new favorites. So, how could I not want to see what this man has made? I want to tell you guys the premise, but I think it's better to just go in blind. I will say this: the plot follows a man who goes to an old friend to ask him to do a very peculiar favor for him. In exchange, he will pay said friend $250,000. Now, I've never reviewed a short film, so I'm going to craft this review to put you in the mood of the film instead of going over its plot points. Now, bear with me, guys. I'm going to review this the best that I can. But just because I'm a fan of these guys, I'm going to review this honestly. Midnight Ruin caught my attention off rip with the shot of this burning object in the night and a haunting score to set the tone right away. Something done very extremely well given the short amount of time we will be with this story. Right after, we meet our two leads in a bar having a discussion. The bar's atmosphere was perfect for what I think he was going for. A nice divey looking spot, but packs some nice atmosphere. Right away, I call Anthony's keen eye for camera work and cuts. He captures these two nicely as we hear their conversation, smoothly cutting back and forth between the two. Now, the contents of their convo I'll discuss when I get to the writing. Next, we're transported to the desert where we spend the remainder of the film. While we are here in the desert, we might as well talk about the cinematography. The cinematography was done by Isaac Park, and bravo, my guy. The shots of the mountains and dying flowers look super crispy. The use of background sounds with some gorgeous shots to look at while you know something sick is happening around you. This shows you these guys have a knack for this. Anthony edited this film, and bro, you got some skills for real. The finale of the movie shows that on full display. You guys know I preach minimalism in good filmmaking, and the use of it here is perfect. I'm not sure his budget for this, but I promise you he spent every dollar well. Well, maybe not every dollar, but we'll discuss that later. Okay, now we got the vibe and the filmmaking stuff out of the way. Let's talk about this thing. So Anthony wrote it, and right away in the story, I immediately got vibes from Krzysztof Kieslowski's Three Colors White and the conversation our two leads were having. I'm not sure if that's where he got his inspiration from or if it was something else, but that's what it made me think of. Now, these vibes did go away after a few minutes because Anthony wrote something quite dark and quite fun. The story takes a very disastrous turn and tonally shifts into a thriller. The best part about the writing is the script doesn't favor one character more than the other, up until the main conflict at least. So, you really can't predict how things are going to go until the shit hits the fan. The dialogue was quite funny in the beginning, and I must say this movie did make me laugh a few times. But that quickly fades away and turns to anger as you see this story unfold. If you are a person of morals, this will upset you, but in a good way. It had me very engaged, and I sent it to a friend, and they asked if it was a new TV series that was going to come out, and they wanted to see more of the story. I will say the writing is the best part of this movie and the star of the show. I would absolutely watch a sequel if he made one, but I do love the ambiguous ending. Leaves for conversation and interpretation. I give the writing high marks. Great job, bro. Now, Ant's direction was flown well, and I think the scenes were nicely blocked. I loved his vision for this, and I think he got that out on the screen for us. This is a step in the right direction for the budding young filmmaker. Now, I'm not a director or an actor. I just watch way too many movies, but I think I've seen enough of them to know a couple of things. Now, I mean no disrespect to anyone involved, but I do have a criticism of this film. I wasn't a huge fan of our leads, the Roberts, Robert Adamson and Robert Palmer Watkins. They serviced their roles and everything, but I don't know, man. I just didn't get down with Palmer Watkins' performance like that. It just felt a little forced at times, and he was a little bit wooden. Now, this guy has been in some stuff, nothing I've seen, so I can't say anything really to his talents outside of this. But this made me want to watch the next Deveney Boys production, not Palmer Watkins' production. Robert Adamson was a little better, and I think he had a tougher assignment, especially in the end, but he wasn't a whole lot better. I will say, though, he did have a nice moment in the desert where the conflict begins, where I saw promise in him as a young actor. Now, guys, these guys are actors and are going to perform better than any Joe off the streets. So don't let what I said make you think too much about that. I'd rather my man James play Palmer Watkins' role, though. If you write a comedy, Anthony, please put James in it. That man is hilarious. But the actors work and the story is good enough to sway you from these little nitpicks. Now, as far as entertainment is concerned, this thing is very entertaining. Most people could watch this and get hooked right away, which is so hard to do in 18 minutes. I love the writing, but man, writing in a short film seems really difficult. I'm very curious as to how much he shot and cut out. The score is perfectly used and it intensifies the moments. It keeps you on edge, and I had a great time watching this. I'm very happy for these guys getting this movie out and following their dreams. I'm very confident that if you guys check this out, you'll be entertained just as I was. I see Anthony having a future in filmmaking, and that's really not me being nice because I like these guys. Because trust me, if it sucked, I would have told you. Midnight Ruin is a great watch if you want to check out something gritty and fun. I've watched it twice now, and I've discussed this in my Everything I Watched in October, and I'm going to change my score for it after a second viewing. Please, guys, go support these guys and check out their channel. These guys do not know me, and they aren't paying me. So I'm being honest with zero bias, guys. So, with all of that said, I'm going to give Midnight Ruin a 7.9 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Midnight Ruin review. Let me know if there is a film or a topic you would like me to discuss. Send this video to the Raiders boys. Make sure they see it. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that a lot. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. I'll link that below as well. I will be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.